All right, so apparently I'm recording and didn't know it. We're going to give this one more try. I think I had the camera set up a little too tall the last time I tried this, so maybe this time will work a little bit better. Hi YouTube, this is Eric Sockness. I am coming back to you from the garage. I didn't do anything too exciting today with any of the bikes, other than I washed my dad's bike, which is now for sale out in front of my house. So if you live in Rice Lake and you're driving on Knapp Street, take a look at it. It's for sale. There's my shameless promotion of my dad's bike sale right there. No, just coming to you from the garage. I, again, don't have a whole lot going on today. I just did a little bit of work around the house. I rode the Trek Superfly today just for a little bit to run some errands. I mean, it's a great commuter bike. I can just lock out the front fork and call that good. Yeah, I guess, again, I am not really sure why I'm coming to you tonight other than just to try this again and do a little bit more recording and try to get a little more experience. Hopefully this camera works a little bit better. I actually am using my phone again, but this time I'm using the actual camera, not the selfie camera, I guess we'll say. So hopefully the quality of the picture is at least better. I doubt the sound's going to be any better, but this is the best it's going to get for now. So I am out in the garage. My kids are sleeping. My fiance's at work, so this is kind of my playtime. I'm going on a trip here in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to go visit my daughter who lives down in Missouri. So Grace Sockness, if you're watching, here's a words up to you, or however you want to do that. Shout out to Grace. She's graduating this year, May 20th, so congratulations, Grace. But I'm going to be going to visit her, and I'm going to be taking one of the two bikes. I'm not 100% sure which one I'm going to take. I've got G-Spot here, which is my nickname for the R1200 GS Adventure that I've got here. Or I've got the 1050cc Triumph Sprint GT, which is a little bit more touring focused versus the Sprint ST, which is a little more sporty. I had an ST about 3 or 4 years ago, and I loved that bike, but it wasn't good for a two-up, so we decided to get the BMW, which I've always wanted one of these, so this was just kind of a no-brainer. We found this guy, which is the Sprint, for sale down in Milwaukee, and I guess the rest is history. We spent 2 days down there with the kids and decided to come home with an extra bike instead of just trading in one bike and having only one. So I guess there's my dilemma. Which bike do I take? The GS or the Sprint? Maybe some of you guys or gals who are watching, if anybody's watching this, who knows, maybe somebody will, maybe somebody won't. If you could maybe throw some comments your way, or my way I should say, and let me know if you have any pluses or minuses to each of them. I have ridden the BMW to my daughter's. It is about 660 miles from where I am right now. The last time I went there, I lived in a different city, so it was only about 600 miles one way to get there. I did do it in one day, which was a lot of riding for a guy who's only ridden locally. I have ridden a Sprint from Eau Claire to Chicago, which is about a 3.5-hour tour, not with Gilligan or Marianne, but it was fairly comfortable. And this bike, I suppose, is going to be a little more comfortable. I've got heated grips coming for it. It's already got a throttle lock. It's got a couple plug-ins, so it's pretty much set. When I get the tank bag that comes in, I think I'll have plenty of space for storage on either bike. I've got plenty of plug-ins on the BMW. This also has a throttle lock, and of course, most of you probably know, it does have heated grips as an option, which this bike did have. I don't know. Both of them have brand new tires. Both of them, well, the BMW needs an oil change, so I'd have to do a little bit of work on that. And she's been running a little rough today, so I've got to work on that and figure that out. Maybe put in a new air filter. Again, comments, love them. I don't even know how to put a comment on a YouTube video, so I'm asking you to do something I don't even know how to do. Again, if anybody's watching, I feel kind of like a kid in college on a radio show. If anybody's listening, we appreciate it. So again, for those of you who have just joined us, if you're actually going to watch, this is the garage. I'm going to step out of the way. You can get maybe a fairly good picture of the garage. This is where I do a lot of my work. This is where I hang out. And last night I kind of made it sound like I hang out here when I'm in trouble or I want to get away from people, but that's really not so much the case. I just like to hang out here because it's a pretty cool garage. I've got a nice air compression system set up. I've got quite a bit of tools. I can change oil. I can do lots of cool stuff on motorbikes and pedal bikes. And as you can see from the hats hanging from the mirrors, I'm shamelessly promoting the BMW and the Triumph brand because both of those bikes have been in my arsenal and I love both of them. I've ridden Hondas as well. I like those. I've ridden Kawasaki's. Those are great. I've ridden on a Harley. I probably don't ever need to ride on one of those again. Sorry, Harley guys. Again, just not my gig. Yo, Sons of Anarchy. Sorry. Let's see. What other bike would I probably get? I'd probably get a Moto Guzzi, or I would maybe look at an old BSA just to have as a bike. Those are pretty much my brands that I would stick with. I'd probably do a Honda. They've got a really cool new Africa Twin out for, I think it came out in 2015. I was looking at one in 2016. I decided to stay with this bike. And about 3 months later, then I had to replace the engine on it. So I don't know. It's still my BMW. I don't know really what I'm thinking about doing, what I was thinking about doing. But I'm still glad I have it. She's my reliable pig. About 84,000 miles on this one. Not even 15,000 on this one, so we'll have to see how things turn out for these bikes. I'm just rambling, so if anybody else wants to join in and say hi, whatever, ramble with me. I just kind of like hanging out in the garage, and this kind of makes me feel like I'm not alone, and it makes me feel maybe a little insane because I'm talking to my phone as if I'm talking to a crowd of people, which maybe someday I will be. I don't know. What else do we want to talk about? I know about watches, I know about bikes, I know about motorcycles to some degree. I can mow the heck out of a lawn. I can hang up Christmas lighting pretty well. I can frame a basement. Can't do a whole lot of plumbing stuff. So any plumbers out there who want to give me any advice on doing a bathroom in a basement, feel free to put those comments down there too. Yeah, I mean, I hate dead space, especially on video. It's probably not the best thing to have. So I'm really testing my my impromptu speech right now because, again, I really didn't have a whole lot in the pipeline to talk about tonight because nothing really all that exciting happened. So this is the garage. Maybe I'll carry you around with me and show you a few things. I've got my wall of motorcycle jackets. I have lots of cool stuff, so I'm going to pick you up here. Try to keep you as level as possible and as shaky-less as possible. So this is the garage. This is the oil and and all of the cleaners, and those are a couple of my old skateboards from once when I was in high school and once from when I was about 30. There's an old Cannondale frame of mine that unfortunately broke underneath me and basically threw me to the ground. I don't have the replacement hanging out here. That's down in the basement, prepared to be set up as a basically as a training bike. So right here, this is kind of an interesting frame right here. This bike right here is the original Transition Trailer Park. If any of you out there are slope style or like to ride park bikes, this is the original Transition Trailer Park. This is so old it actually has a BMX bottom bracket on the bottom. If you look at that rear chainstay, that is just a monstrosity of a hookup system for your rear hub. That just never really worked very well. 4130 chromoly, this thing weighed about as much as a motorcycle frame. It is a beast. The reason I have it hanging on the wall and the reason it looks pretty much brand new is because it is. It's been assembled and ridden twice. Assembled once, ridden twice. This frame is on my wall because when this bike came out in 2004, Transition held a contest, named the Frame Contest, and I happened to be the guy that named this bike. Believe it or not, I named this bike. So, little trivia there. I'm running out of time here, so there's my helmet. There's a whole bunch of helmets in that. Right here is probably a 92, 93 Bridgestone MB1. It is all pretty much original except for the tires right now. I put a few things on there, but when I got it, everything was original, including the tires. That is Paola Pezzo. For those of you who are new to the cycling scene, she was pretty hot back in the 90s as a cyclist for Gary Fisher, as you could probably guess. There's an old skateboard, don't remember what it is. There are the bikes that were tested yesterday. That is my fiance's bike. She's not real big into biking, so oh well. There is the wall of motorcycle jackets. There's actually one more in the basement, but I never ride it. So, and I'm going to step back and pan to the bikes. So